Hey guys, it's Gabby. Welcome back to my channel. So today I have the do's and don'ts of striping tape. Now, if you've been subscribed for like a month, honestly, no, if you've seen a few of my videos, then you have probably noticed that I use striping tape a lot, like it's actually a problem. But honestly, I just love striping tape so much. It makes it so much easier to get those really nice lines. And I'm telling you guys, once you know what not to do and what to avoid, you're gonna be addicted to using this stuff. So the main question I get is where to actually buy striping tape. The only store I know of that consistently has it is Sally Beauty Supply, but it's honestly pretty expensive there, so I recommend going online to either Daily Charm or Born Pretty Store, and I'll have those linked down below. Also, whenever I'm using striping tape, I like to use tweezers because it just makes it a whole lot easier to work with. So for your nail polish, you can pick any color that you want, but you do want to try to use the lighter color as your base color. And obviously this is something you don't have to do, but like for this example, you don't want to try to put pink over black when you can put black over pink. Basically, it's just going to make it easier for you to cover up the other color. So for my base coat, I'm going to be using London Town Mauve Over. This is such a great nail polish. You guys know I love this color. Now, before you even touch that striping tape, apply a top coat over that base color and make sure that nail polish dries completely, like not just dry to touch, not just like, oh, it's kind of dry. Like it needs to be completely dry, or else the tape is just going to rip off the polish underneath, and that just sucks because then you have to start all the way over. So just make sure it is completely dry. I normally wait like 30 minutes just to be safe. I know that's kind of aggressive, but I rather wait too long than not wait long enough. Also, if you use a quick dry top coat, that will make this whole process faster. I actually don't have one. I don't know why. That's kind of weird. But anyways, now you can finally lay down your striping tape, and I always use tweezers to just smooth it down completely because this is another place you can mess up. You don't want there to be any gap between the tape and the nail, because when you paint over it, then the nail polish will slowly seep underneath the tape and then you won't get that nice line. So just make sure it's all the way smoothed down and that there's no space in between. And also make sure that you know the order that you lay the tape down in so that you're not trying to pick up a piece of tape that's underneath another one. I hope that makes sense. So now it is time to paint the nail, and you really want to make sure you have everything laid out. Like make sure you have your tweezers right there because this is where you really need to work quickly. So I'm just going to paint right over that tape, and you want to try to use a nail polish that's pretty opaque so you can get it done in one coat. And I'm just going to paint and completely cover up that whole nail. And then as soon as I'm done painting that nail, I'm going to rip the tape off as fast as I can. And this is probably the place where people mess up the most because honestly, even waiting a minute or two can completely mess up the design. So you really just want to get that tape off, and you can always go back and fix up any mistakes later. So as you can see, I didn't completely cover my nail on the bottom with the black nail polish, so I'm just taking a little brush and just filling that in. And then make sure that is completely dry before you add your top coat because you don't want the black smearing into your lines and messing up all the work you just did. That is it for the first type of nail art you can do with striping tape. So this is basically the type where you're covering your nail completely with another color and you're using the striping tapes as your actual lines, if that makes sense. And then the second type is where you're actually blocking off a portion of your nail. So you use this when you're making a triangle or when you're trying to do half of your nail one color. You do follow pretty much the same steps for this type, but there are a few more things that you can mess up. So I will be showing you guys a different nail design, but right here, this is basically everything I said not to do. So I didn't use a top coat, and I also let this nail polish dry for probably, I want to say like 4 or 5 minutes. Like it wasn't even that long, but as you can see, I can't even get the striping tape off my nail. Like this isn't even me being dramatic. Like it was stuck on my nail. The nail polish is just drying over it and it just looks really bad. So don't do this. Don't be that person. But yeah, moving on to the next nail design. So for this design, I'm going to be doing the typical half of my nail black and half of my nail mauve. So the first thing you want to avoid is not meeting the striping tape all the way. So as you can see, there's a tiny little hole right there that's not meeting the tape, and you don't want that because it's going to be a gap in the line. And you also don't want to go over the tape. And I know this seems like, oh, duh, but it's actually really easy to do. You know, you could be painting your nail, you're having a good time, and then your hand shakes a tiny bit, and it's over the tape. And that's something you want to avoid because then when you peel off the tape, you have this weird thing on the other side that doesn't even, like, I don't know what that is. So to avoid this, you honestly just have to be careful. I know that doesn't seem helpful, but that's honestly what it comes down to. You can also use a smaller brush if you're not comfortable using a giant brush like the one I'm using here. You can just use like a small detail brush so you have more control. And another tip that I actually do sometimes, so if you have a space that's a little bit too big, or it will take you a while to fill in, what you can do is just paint next to the striping tape and then pull it off and then fill in the rest of the nail later. And I know this probably sounds weird, so I'm going to insert an example, but basically what I'm doing is I'm painting onto the striping tape and then ripping that off and kind of creating an outline so you can just kind of fill it in without needing the striping tape there, and that way you're not letting the nail polish dry and you can still get that nice clean line. So that is it for the do's and don'ts of striping tape. I really hope that helps, and if I forgot any tips, please comment down below so we can all help each other. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will be back next Wednesday with another do's and don'ts. So yeah, okay, bye.